FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
I think that Americans in policy understand that, and I think it is the dominant, a much greater recognition now across the American political system that our fiscal position is unsustainable over the long run. And it's going to require a substantial set of changes to the balance between our resources and commitments to bring that under control. And we're in the process of just trying to figure out how we can build a consensus to make that happen in a way that's going to be fair and preserve strong fundamentals for future growth. And our system has a lot of strengths in terms of how we make fiscal policy, and it has some important weaknesses and challenges. Our strengths are that the president is obligated to put out a budget that lays out policies for 10 years. And those are evaluated by an independent authority, in this case the Congressional Budget Office, which has to judge what they produce in terms of deficits over time relative to the economy as a whole. And when the president lays out his deficit, his budget in a few weeks, you'll see our view of the best way to bring those deficits down over time to a level that's sustainable, and how we can do that without hurting not just the near-term expansion, but making sure we're strengthening the underlying fundamentals for investment and growth in the United States, for innovation and education. And the fact that we have to do that and it has to be evaluated independently is a good, important strength of our system. Our challenge, of course, is that is just the beginning of the process. Congress, under the Constitution, has to legislate policies. And our real problem now is that we do not have a device in the American political system now that allows Congress to commit itself credibly over a multi-year period to policies that will offer an enforceable commitment to bring down deficits to a sustainable level. And that is our challenge, to figure out how we can build that type of framework that allows a multi-year commitment, because, just to come back to a question you asked a few minutes ago, what businesses and individuals need is the ability to understand over time how we're going to solve that. They know we have to solve it. But the ideal thing for incentives and for confidence, for certainty, is to lay out a path for how we're going to solve those things that allow people to plan and to adjust. And the earlier you begin those reforms, the more time you give people to plan for their impact and adjust to them. Now, these are within our capacity to solve. Again, our challenges on the fiscal side are much more modest.
Within our political capacity to solve.
Absolutely.
No question.
No question.
There is a political will to deal with the long-term entitlements are at the core of our deficit issues.
I would say the political will is not fully manifest yet at the moment, but it's coming. There's no alternative to it. There's no way to avoid it. We can't grow our way out of it. But again, if you look at our position relative to that of the rest of the world, it is going to be easier for us to bring ourselves down to a more sustainable level than without hurting growth. It'll be true for many countries. We just need to make sure we can start the process soon.